future of the work is reinvented. According to the Gartner, 75% of the knowledge workers expect greater flexibility from their collaboration tools. Today on Future Now Talks, I have with me Sam Tayan, the head of MENA at Zoom. Sam is working many years in the region and software veteran, helping SaaS businesses to grow. He experienced in technology as well in the region. I'm happy to host here. Sam, welcome to the show and Future Now Talks.
Thank you very much, Peter. It's great to be here.
My pleasure having you here. And I would like to talk with you about the hybrid mode of working. This thing has been said many times. So what is your opinion about this?
Yes, I think obviously hybrid is something which is discussed a lot. Over the past year, many people have experienced remote working with conducting many of their meetings and many of their business interactions via video collaboration, for example, Zoom, having Zoom meetings. That certainly has many advantages and it has many benefits in terms of productivity. You know, you definitely avoid the traffic jams, you avoid the commute time and so on. But also, I think there are those who've certainly missed the human interaction that you have within an office, meeting colleagues, having that, that physical proximity in terms of, having a coffee together and things like that.
And do you think the hybrid working for the knowledge users are different here in UAE or in other countries like in Europe and North America? Are their preference differs?
I think there are differences and there are a lot of similarities as well. I think if I look at, for example, the UAE and the UK, a market I know a little bit about as well, there are similarities because there's some, the UAE has some excellent world-class infrastructure in terms of 5G data speeds for mobility, ability to do, conduct your meetings anywhere. On video, and also fiber to home, an extensive infrastructure in place. A lot of people have multi-hundred meg connections in their homes as well. I think where differences do lie potentially is in the way that, the way that cities are made up in terms of traffic and average commute times and things like that. And certainly hot desking and things like that were somewhat prevalent in markets such as the UK before 2020, maybe due to those slightly different, maybe longer commute times and things like that, and the way the cities are set up in terms of the distances people live from their place of work.
In the Future Now Talks, we're talking about future and about trends. So how do you see the trends in their online collaboration space? For example, what we see from our side is that AR and AI are already parts of a lot of the tools. In the contrast, if we'll take it further, one of my favorite movies called Holograms with the King, with Tom Hanks traveling to Jeddah and selling online collaborations with holograms. So do you think holograms is our next future?
Well, I think certainly VR is a very exciting, so virtual reality is a very exciting area. And for example, using VR technology, you can have an experience which is, for example, close to that of having large whiteboards or large screen type experience without the need for actually those items physically. With a VR headset on, you imagine that you're in front of a large display or something like that without actually needing the display. And I think that's certainly very interesting, very exciting.
Our customers often ask us how they should design their office spaces for the future of the work. And one of their areas where we believe into is that the future business processes will have embedded video communications using the APIs and other tools. Do you agree with that? And can you give any other suggestions or recommendations?
Yes, certainly. I think there's some things which need to be looked into, looking to the future in terms of whether it be the hybrid workplace or significantly remote workforce enhancing productivity. I think many offices were set up in terms of their telecommunications infrastructure, imagining 100-200 employees using mainly email, a little bit of browser usage. Now with many employees, when they get to the office, also using video conferencing, I think that needs a rethink in terms of the infrastructure which supports them. Sometimes we've seen that. In addition, There are other aspects which need to be taken into account in terms of the workflow and embedding video within applications and platforms. We've seen retail, medical, so for remote medicine, for remote shopping, also tutoring online, allowing you to access maybe tutors in different countries and all over the world. The usage of APIs and things like that to embed within existing recognized platforms video.
Thanks, Sam. Very interesting. So typically within Future Works, we ask two questions. The first one, is there anything from today you want to preserve into the future?
Most certainly. We've met many times and very familiar with each other, but all our meetings have been via Zoom. I think today is the first time we've met face to face.
Yes,
and
indeed.
It was very lovely to have a cup of coffee and just have a chit chat. And so that's certainly something I want to keep, the ability to do that. I think the lesson is, I think with Zoom meetings, we often schedule Zoom meetings to cover the business topic. And they're quite, compact. They start and they end with the business discussion only. I think it's nice sometimes to maybe carve out a few minutes and have a little chit chat and a cup of tea at the beginning of a meeting, get to know everybody.
I definitely agree. We're still humans and we still need that.
Yes.
Another question is there anything you would take from the future technology and bring into the today collaboration tools that may help us to overcome collaboration fatigue? And then the hologram example from my side could be one of such means.
VR is very exciting, and I think the idea of having that immersive experience with VR, with video collaboration with Zoom, for example, is very exciting. I think in addition, the use of asynchronous and synchronous video communication. So yes, certainly to live meetings, but also to video messaging as well, so that potentially if I want to quickly tell you something, I can drop you a video message. I think it's a very interesting thing too.
Thanks a lot, Sam. It was a lovely pleasure having you at Future Now Talks, and hope to see you again with us.
Thank you very much indeed. It's been great being here.
Future Now Talks is all about bringing the best technology partners and technologies to collaborate with the customers, scale-ups, and software developers. Future Now Talks is all about. Stay tuned.